We're catching Pokemon while we can, because we expect to lose signal.
So we're in the camera car. Ryan's making a U, because we're gonna follow him into the location. It's gonna be sick.
Hi, I'm Megan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Anna.
And we're the creators, the producers.
People who made the thing.
The producers of the short film Better You.
You did it.
Fireworks, 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 fireworks. So Anna, you and I are real life friends.
Real life.
Like college friends.
Like no internet involved.
Like no internet involved.
Oh, and we played Quidditch together for 3 years.
Oh,
That's what I wanted.
That's what Megan wanted the world to know.
So all these years later, now that we're like proper adults, we were seeing Harry Potter at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, do you want to do a thing for Buffer Festival?
We could probably just drive off this cliff.
Shut up.
So you guys
I just have a suitcase full of costumes. All for just me. I call that wig the Mulan.
So whenever you are ready, we can walk.
Yay, fine.
There's
With the script and with like doing clones, I think the idea was that like, how do we make Brizzy voices the film? You know, in a way, where it's like you're always doing costumes and makeup and voices and all these characters and stuff. So it was like, how do you translate that? Once we had a script and once there was like an initial plan, I think like kind of the next thing we started doing was like rehearsing and test shooting, which was kind of different than I think a lot of other films because. Like obviously you were playing all of the roles.
Yeah, so it was just me, you, and Megan
in this room, like probably like on this couch and
Just like switching jackets
Yeah.
and stuff to pretend to be different characters. So we're not. This is only the beginning. Okay.
What are you doing?
Keeping us alive. Let's go.
I think there's like a school of thought where there's like, oh, we'll just go on the day and like let things like be creative and hit. But like there's this really good like Richard Linklater. He's like, you wouldn't like go to your big baseball game without having practiced. So like, why would you go to your film set having not practiced? And so yeah, so the test shoot was super helpful. I
think it was really important for this one because of Anna being the only
Yeah.
actor technically. So we had to like work out the
Logistics.
magic behind the shots where it was supposed to be two Annas and such.
And even like certain lines, if you say them out loud and it or you could say, you know, like I'm sitting at my computer typing it and saying it out loud and it feels one way, but then to actually for it to be in your mouth, it feels a different way. And even like one we changed from like Hun to Sweetie or something like that. Like little things like that. It's funny how those change. And so I think like the value of preparation is like totally.
You could start looking at her and then look around, like assume there's one there, one here, one there. 4 apple, take 1.
Like being a producer is like building that game of mousetrap, you know, where you put all the pieces together and then you like when you're shooting, you kind of have the ball and you put the ball in the thing and you hope that your track is going to make it to the end and it might, you know, hop off the rails a little bit, but you're like, no, just. But it's also like preparing to be unprepared. I think like the biggest thing about putting a film set together is that like you need to like know everything so well that like you go to set and you don't do any of it. And I don't even carry a script really. I mean, I did on this one because everything was so like had to be precise in terms of like lines and stuff. But I rarely even carry a script with me on set because it's like I'd rather not be tied to a script. I'd rather feel like whatever's working right in front of us is what we should be doing.
Yeah. Honestly, the fun fact that Leo's role was meant to be a lady.
That literally changed on set, like the day.
Yeah,
like it was still Laurel, even though we knew it was Leo coming in.
Yeah. When even Leo's costume, we brought things for him, and he brought what he wore, and it was like, oh, duh, that's what he's gonna wear, because he's like the cosplay master. And so
professional.
Having doubles was so important, and there was even a moment for me where we didn't totally know what days we were shooting and what we were gonna do, and I was like, well, I guess like my shoulder I can have the wig on, and like, but it ended up working out where we were able to have enough people that we could like fill the shots and
Except
do all
for
the
Lana Prime.
except for old, yeah.
You are the Lana
I was.
Prime.
That is true. That is my
yeah.
shoulder at the end of the film. We had like basically no budget like on this, and it was just all out of pocket money and whatever. And so without like sets or big expensive lights and these whole things that you have access to, it's so easy that like nature is like the best set ever. And like even like when we were looking at locations and figuring it out, how am I supposed to find these things? It's like just Google. Like I was like literally Googling like Southern California forest dirt road, going on Google image searching and be like, oh, I like this photo. Like where is this? And then finding out where that photo was taken and then like going to that photo. They were both in the Angeles National Forest and they're actually on the opposite sides of a mountain. I mean, things were kind of as small as we could have gotten them because it was like me, Andrew, our camera dude, and Cam, aka Cam's Creations. Shout out to Cam's Creations on sound, and then like you know the doubles, you guys, and then doubles. And James, who was also
BCS and a double.
Yeah.
Or not a double. He was his own
thing. I guess for me as like a director and as the filmmaking side of it, is it would be nice to have 1 million people, but like it's so hard to like get people to like that will work for free or that like are your friends and that want to do something like this.
And then you need more people who are just like controlling all the people that you have now, and then that just gets more complicated.
So there's something to be said, I think, about keeping it small and being like, oh, we're gonna flip around and maybe sometimes you're holding the.
Well, that's also a benefit of not having like lights and electricity and all that stuff. we had someone holding a bounce most of the time, but other than that, like. We didn't need like 6 people.
Action. For Baker, take 1. Action. Yeah, so like Megan's kind of aces right there, you know. Like that's kind of boom shakalaka.
Oh, my hair. Reviewing.
And I guess we should also put a big shout out to our boy Brice, aka Pumodi. I had put together an edit and it was like the first version. I had sent it to a few people and I know he had already talked about wanting to do the music for it. I sent it to him over Facebook. I was like, hey man, I don't know if this is gonna be enough time because you're getting married tomorrow. It was like 4 or 5 in the afternoon and he's like, hey, just send it to me. I'll see what I can do. And 2 hours later, the score was basically done.
Create a new you. Every time you hit confirm, you end up here.
What are you talking about? I don't even know where here is.
He just got here, same as the rest of us. You can't...
So from, let's just get it from the top.
Then we took it to Bufferfest, and that was at the end of October, and in Toronto. We were chosen to play at the opening gala, which means that we get a freaking trophy, which means that we are an international award-winning movie.
No big deal though.
The script is gonna be in the
doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doo. There's also like certain insights I think to what we were doing that aren't on the screen, but were in the script. Like every Lana having a number and
even Lana's having a name. Like you don't even say the word.
That is true.
In the film.
So that's it. That's the film. That's the behind the scenes. Hope you like it.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be more. I mean, there'll be more films.
Only way to know is to subscribe.